Live from our Coronation Park studios in Babane, it has just gone 10 o'clock Central Africa time. Good evening and welcome to the news at 10. Brought to you by Eswatini Television. I'm Sanapo Ngone alongside Sikelo Gnen. Thank you so much for choosing to stay with us. We begin here first, your headlines tonight. His Majesty King Eswatini III has commissioned the Butimba Regiment to begin the hunting expedition known as Butimba at Hlane Royal Residence. The Minister of Agriculture pleads with farmers to remove their livestock on the roads to avoid road accidents. And the Ministry of Information, Communication and Technology will use the Eswatini International Trade Fair as a platform to educate the public on how to download and utilize the Government in Your Hand application. Good evening. The news in detail will begin here first. Our first story. His Majesty King Eswatini III has commissioned the Butimba Regiment to begin the hunting expedition known as Butimba at Hlane Royal Residence. Present during the commissioning of the regiment by His Majesty were the Makhosikati to His Majesty, the royal family, and as well as the Prime Minister.
After the trumpet was blown, the regiment gathered together and prepared for today's order. This followed the commissioning of the warriors by His Majesty the King and Ngonyama on Sunday at Engabezweni Royal Residence and instructed the regiment to sleep over at Mafuteni Royal Crow, whereby then the regiment proceeded with the Royal Command to Hlane Royal Residence. Upon gathering at the royal residence, the regiment danced and sang Butimba songs with His Majesty the King and Ngonyama. Present during the commissioning of the regiment by His Majesty were their royal highnesses, the Prime Minister, chiefs and royal councils, just to name a few. His Majesty's regiment attended this beautiful and cultural event in huge numbers as they have anticipated for it for the longest time, as we know that His Majesty normally commissions this regiment after a few years. This national event does not occur annually like most national ceremonies. After dancing and singing Butimba songs, Induna Komandanyani Makakula then communicated an order from His Majesty King Eswatini III as to what is expected from the regiment. The Butimba regiment then proceeded with the Royal Command and began their journey to the destination that has been commanded by His Majesty. Upon arrival at the destination known as Eswatini, the regiment showed eagerness and strength of embarking on the real duty. His Majesty King Mswati III then instructed the regiment to begin with their hunting exercise. The regiment will get an order from His Majesty as to what is expected from them the following day. On the news, I'm Polile Mazia with Temba Mamba and Sambulo Masugu at Hlane Royal Residence.
The Minister of Agriculture, the Honourable Mandla Chauka, pleads with farmers to remove their livestock on the roads to avoid road accidents. The Minister says, as we are approaching the Reed Death ceremony, tourists and the lives of a Maswati must be safe at all costs.
Livestock on the country's roads continues to be a pain for motorists as they pose great danger to the public and to motorists. When asked, the Minister of Public Works and Transport says their hands are tied for now due to the foot and mouth disease. The news crew spoke to the Minister of Agriculture, Mandla Chauka, who asked farmers, especially those with livestock, to ensure that they graze their animals as far away as possible from the roads. The Minister says there is a need for the construction of more where the cattle can be kept.
Singacela lokuthi sikhuthade ukuthi phela eMaswati awayicize imfuyo. Siye sithi imfuyo ingcebo eMaswati. Kulukhulu ngeke ukuthi ungayekela ingcebo yakho ihambe ihaza esigangeni ungayathi nokuthi lelephi bese idala leti ngoti lesiye sitibone eveni.
The minister says with the forthcoming Reed Dance ceremony, tourists will be coming into the country. It is therefore important that we ensure that the country's roads are clear from all dangers. The minister says farmers must ensure that they always keep an eye on their livestock. Reporting, I'm Kian Msibi with Leleti Mhlanga, Hlane.
The Ministry of Information, Communication and Technology will use the Eswatini International Trade Fair as a platform to educate the public on how to download and utilize the Government in Your Hand app. Now, according to Bongandla Ngamandla, who's the Director of E-Government in the Ministry, he says the app has already been downloaded 2,600 times. Ngamandla revealed this while discussing the Ministry's plans to showcase the app during the trade fair.
The Ministry of Information, Communication and Technology has officially launched the Government in Your Hand mobile application designed to help citizens access government services more faster and conveniently. Bongandla Ngamandla, Director of E-Government at the Ministry, says that the app forms part of the Ministry's broader initiative to promote digital transformation across the country.
Sisale sisebenzisa lo mbukiso lo lokuthi sitivete emaswatini silethe nale app lesikhuluma ngayo sibafundzise emaswati ukuthi isebenta kanjani.
Ngamandla explained that the Eswatini International Trade Fair will serve as a key platform to educate the public about the Government in Your Hand application alongside other ICT programs. The ministry will use the trade fair to engage eMaswati and raise awareness about digital initiatives such as coding courses, which will be offered free of charge to all eMaswati. Ngamandla says the ministry is committed to equipping the nation with essential digital skills. The ministry will collaborate with various parastatals, including the Real Science Technology Park, to showcase innovative digital projects developed by eMaswati. Reporting, Sondo Mlangeni, Mbabane.
The Ministry of Commerce, Industry and Trade is in the process of launching a whistleblowing line for micro, small and medium enterprises to report payment delays. Now, this follows complaints from MSMEs about the late payments, including allegations of bribe demands by some officials. The Honourable Minister Mangoba Khumalo announced the move in response to outcries from businesses affected by delays from government departments, parastatals and private companies.
One thing that we've observed is that a lot of these invoices sit within the ministries. They don't go to finance because some of the people in the ministries expect bribes so that they can process the invoice and it goes to the Ministry of Finance. So I have done an exercise personally where I followed through on some invoices where people were complaining of late payments, and I discovered that in all the 10 cases that I actually followed through, it was the ministry officials, the departments in the ministry that just sit with the invoices for no reason. I've also done a similar exercise with a few parastatals where people have complained and I've followed through on their behalf. And again, I discover that the departments of finance in those parastatals do not know that there's an invoice that is now due for payment. It's still sitting with a department. We are going to open a line for people to report this to us. And when we then have done all the necessary work to ensure that that line is manned and people can get instant responses.
The Business Federation of Eswatini has commended the minister for the firm stance on delayed payments of micro, small and medium enterprises.
We have now and again visited the Ministry of Finance just to plead with them for payment of our MSMEs. And I think now that the Minister of Commerce has also taken this step, we are going to see better results.
The Federation of Eswatini Business Community FESBIC says they will hold the minister accountable for this promise. In a telephonic interview, the Chief Executive Officer Ben Simelane says the issue of late payment of suppliers has been a thorny one, leading to closure of businesses. Reporting, Nelson Ngamandla, Fuminko Sinzinisa, Mbabane.
The government of the Kingdom of Eswatini is close to finalizing a major review of civil service salaries following the submission of a draft report to the Ministry of Public Service recently. The extensive review, the first since 2016, seeks to tackle concerns about the rising cost of living for government employees. However, the implementation rests on how government will handle the review if it exceeds the budgeted amount for this financial year. The Minister for Finance, the Honourable Neil Rickenback, explains.
The minister explains how they can address the review if it exceeds the budgeted 500 million emalangeni.
As you know, we have provided $500 million emalangeni in this year's budget, just as a preemptive budget amount for salary review. To try and find more money in this year's budget will be very, very difficult. And so, unfortunately, if the salary review is showing to be a much higher number, we're going to have to probably try to negotiate with the unions and see what we can do to maybe phase it. So listen, maybe a certain portion this year, a certain portion next year. We'll have to negotiate at that point and find solutions to the problems. But at the moment, until we know the number, it's very difficult to predict exactly what we can do.
The World Bank Economic Review report states that Eswatini's civil service comprises approximately 40,000 employees and receives over 10 billion emalangeni annually in salaries. Reporting, Nelson Dlangamandla, Mbabane.
The preparation for the Eswatini International Trade Fair continues as the trade fair is expected to commence this coming Friday. Speaking about the preparations, Special Nkabinze, who is the manager of domestic trade to the Eswatini Investment Promotion Authority, that's APA, says the preparations are at an advanced stage.
It is all systems go for the Eswatini International Trade Fair 57th edition, as local and international investors are already setting up their stalls.
This year's Eswatini International Trade Fair will commence on 29 August 2025 and conclude on the 8th of September 2025. The event will feature a variety of exciting activities, including the popular Win a Car competition. According to Spesihle Nkabinde from the Eswatini Investment Promotion Authority, preparations are currently at 85% complete.
Between today and Thursday, we'll be pushing the last mile in terms of getting ready for our first day, which is on Friday, on the 29th. So I will say companies are almost there, and we are still assisting in making sure that they exactly well. We have a Fit Friday, which should be happening this Friday on the first day of the trade fair, which is basically a wellness day. We'll be doing our aerobics, we'll be doing light training, we'll be having experts who will be delivering some information around how to keep your body health and fit. So basically that will be the first activity. Then on Saturday, we'll be having a Claw with Us, where we are expecting companies in the space of beauty to be part of that session, and also we'll be having experts that will deliver some sessions around how to keep your body clean or how to keep your skin good.
The 2025 Eswatini International Trade Fair does not only bring innovation, business, cultural and sporting activities will also be showcased. Reporting, Sondomlangeni, Mbongwa Dube, Nokpiwa Mpamali, Manzini.
Right, so let's shift gears now into the world of business, where we take a look at financial indicators to give us a sense of how our markets performed today in the Up Next financial report.
Standard Bank.
Welcome back on our sports news. Cyprian Dlamini, the secretary of the association governing the sport of tennis in the country, says as an association they saw it fit to bring together young players of the sport to play alongside the senior players in order to raise the level of competition, especially for those who will be competing in the international tournaments. Dlamini was speaking during the continuation of the seniors tournament that was played at the University of Eswatini, the Gwaluseni campus.
The newly elected leadership of the Tennis Association, which assumed office last month, has pledged to ensure that young players are given adequate time and opportunities to develop. The executive says their goal is to prepare juniors with enough experience to compete successfully at international level. The association has already begun implementing strategies aimed at improving the standard of young players.
This association is select lama high performing juniors, so to boost their, to give them their sikhathi listening sekudlala, because we have realized that they don't get enough time when they are going outside to play in international games.
These young players who had opportunity to train and play alongside seniors seem to be benefiting from the exposure.
I'm a junior
player, but I also double up as a senior player, which helps improve my game.
So
it helps a lot of juniors to improve their game, and we thank the title sponsor for these games. The matches were staged at the University of Eswatini in Gwaluseni, where juniors competed in the singles category. Next weekend, doubles matches are expected to take center stage. Reporting, I'm Linda Dlamini, Partizom Siben Fabrice Msonera, Gwaluseni.
Right, and just like that, we've hit the home stretch of the news at 10 here at Eswatini TV. Before we go, here's a quick reminder of news-making headlines tonight. His Majesty King Eswatini III has commissioned the Butimba Regiment to begin the hunting expedition known as Butimba at the Hlanera residence. The Minister of Agriculture pleads with farmers to remove their livestock on the roads to avoid road accidents. And the Ministry of Information, Communication and Technology will use the Eswatini International Trade Fair as a platform to educate the public on how to download and utilize the Government in Your Hand app. Right, and just like that, we've hit the home stretch, which is the conclusion of the news here at Eswatini Television. Thanks so much for choosing to stay with us. Up next, we'll cross over to the Weather Center for a detailed weather report from us and the team at Eswatini TV. For now, it is good night and God bless.
Brings you Super Savings. Get 355ml Red Bull energy drink, any 2 for 40, save 14 ml. 175-gram Protex soap, any 2 for 24, save 14 ml. Or Huggies Dry Comfort Nappies or Nappy Pads, Jumbo Pack for $169.99, save 60 ml. Plus, you could win your share of thousands in instant cash.
That's why we shop at Spar.
Leli